Welcome to this series of modules on developing the IEP. These modules assume you are familiar with the Ministry of Education's guidelines and policies on individual education planning. If not, please view them at the websites listed on the accompanying slide. Our purpose for this series of modules is to increase understanding of the individual education planning process, to demonstrate enhanced practice of the IEP process, and to provide suggestions on planning supports and services. In this series, a fictional student named Nikki Morgan is the focus. She is 15 years old and attends a large secondary school. Nikki's current IEP team includes Nikki, her mother, the vice principal, the school counselor, case manager and alternate education teacher, the youth care worker, and the school psychologist. Their goal is to collaboratively work together to help Nikki meet her goals by creating an individual education plan, or IEP. The IEP is a documented plan developed for a student with special needs that describes individualized goals and objectives, the services and strategies needed to meet the goals, and measures for tracking achievement. Nikki's story will be used to explain the 5 phases of the IEP process. The first phase is the pre-planning or identification and assessment. At this stage, Nikki is identified as a student with special needs, and her IEP team assesses her strengths and needs. The second phase is planning, or determining the goals and objectives for the student. Nikki's IEP team uses the information gathered in the pre-planning phase to collaboratively discuss priorities and set realistic and measurable goals and objectives which relate to Nikki's strengths and needs. Implementing the plan is the third stage. The team determines what appropriate services and strategies will be needed to reach the goals and objectives. An important part of this stage is agreeing who is doing what and where the services are occurring. The fourth phase is evaluating and reviewing the plan. Deciding how and when progress will be measured is the key aspect. The team formally reviews the IEP at predetermined times and makes revisions based on what is and isn't working. Reporting is the fifth and final stage. Nikki's IEP team establishes a timeline for reporting to correlate with the school's reporting timeline. The reports are written according to the ministry's guidelines. The IEP is a flexible, working roadmap that provides direction and a shared vision. The IEP process is positive and student-centered. Relationship and involvement of the student, family, and community supports are paramount to success. The level of student involvement will vary depending on age, developmental level, abilities, and motivation, but student involvement should increase each year. As well, the more strengths-based the goals, the greater the reality of success for the student. While engaged in the IEP process, remember the KISS principle. Keep it simple and succinct, and speak and write in positive, proactive language that others can understand. The IEP is like a completed puzzle. The whole picture is easy to understand if all of the pieces are put together by the team.